Dream vlog Monday, August 8th, 2022, about 8:55 a.m. Live in a huge house, 2 stories, all white with blue, all white with a blue trim on it. My mom and my sister and brother lived there too. In the dream, it was around a time, like my sister appeared to be like maybe 12, my brother about 9 or so. And my mom looked young, like maybe, I don't know, somewhere 35, 40. But in real life, at that time, she would have been about 45. But she always looked good. But the house, it was decent, but it was cluttered. Like, it's like my house is right now, where it's a lot of stuff, but everything's where it's supposed to be, pretty much. Downstairs, my brother and sister were sitting on this long black couch, and he didn't look like the way my mom raised him. He looked dirty. He had on like these boxer shorts, these green plaid boxer shorts. Like, they weren't stretchy material, regular boxy short material, and a white wife beater. My sister, she was okay. And he had on like this baseball cap turned to the side. My brother never, it wasn't the way I remember my brother. But I said to him, I said, take care of yourself, clean yourself up, because you represent me. And so I ended up, bathing him and getting him freshened up. And then I couldn't find him. I was like, where is he at? But I went on about my business. And later on during the day, and in the dream, I was under the impression like I ran the house somehow. I went out the front door, but the front door led not to directly outside, but like a lobby area. And like, if you ever lived in a high-rise building or a luxury building where, all your trash you bring downstairs and you put it into the section, and eventually the maintenance people will take it out. It was kind of like that, And, yeah, so I went downstairs, and I saw all the stuff out, and I was like, oh, my mom must have thrown all that out. And then it was a white lady, like a country bumpkin type of white lady out there. And she was kind of a little lifestyleish, right? And she was sitting at a desk in front of the stuff, and I was like, since you're here, what's going on? What's all this? Do we have too much stuff or something? And she didn't really give a real answer. And so I noticed that it was like, I have a purple office chair, but in this dream, the purple office chair were matches, and this was like a second one. It was another purple office chair. And then it was like, basically like office furniture that was out there, but it all belonged to me, or was in the house originally. And I was like, okay, well, maybe we do have too much stuff, so that's fine. And so as I started talking to the lady and asking her questions, I had like a notepad that I was drawing on or something, like I was doing some artistic stuff with it. And I went back to sit on the couch. She went back to sit, it's like a couch, like I said, a lobby area, but it was an office lobby, discarding stuff place where maybe like she was maybe a maintenance supervisor or office, somebody like that worked, And so I went to go sit back on the couch and, finish my sketch. And she came and sat on the couch with me, and I was busy sketching, and I didn't realize, didn't realize how close she was sitting to me, but I didn't think nothing of it. She had on an orange shirt. She was white. She was kind of heavy set, probably mid to late 30s, 40s, khaki pants, like a uniform type attire, short, like brown blonde hair, if that makes sense. Kind of, I guess, like maybe a strawberry blonde, but it was short. And as we were sitting there, I had gotten comfortable, so I just got leaned back on her and kept on drawing. The next thing I heard was a knock on the glass window, and I was like, where is that coming from? She didn't say anything. Then eventually this little girl came out, little real black girl. And so she came out, And I was like, where are these kids coming from? And then it turned out that the white woman ended up turning into this black boy, and not boy, but black young man, like 25 to 30. Reminded me of this guy that was from Cameroon that I knew. And again, he was back at the desk working, and the little girl came out, was running all over the place. And I was like, where's her parents at, you know? And she was running. I think maybe part of the dream was like maybe she pooped in her pants and dropping little poop pellets. I don't know. But I was like, where's she at? And she kept coming over to me. And so I knew I wasn't going to get any more drawing done. So I got up and I talked to the guy. And, you know, turns out that that glass that was above where we were sitting was leading to like a recreation area where there's like a huge Olympic-sized pool and a whole bunch of kids, and was connected to an apartment complex. But we didn't live in that. I guess we lived in a complex, but it was an apartment complex. It was like a single family home or townhome complex. But it was, our house was big. It was a full, huge house. And so after that, I noticed there was a bunch of lockers. And in one of the lockers, and the lockers I think were generally made for kids, but I had taken one because I had stuff, and I think I had to rush out one day, and I put all my stuff in a locker. But when I opened the locker, my stuff was in there. I had like a bunch of candy, some pebbles, like rock pebbles, gravel pebbles. And it was like craft stuff, crafts and, you know, pebbles and candies and, you know, and sketchbooks and pens and markers. And so I gathered all that stuff out to take it back into the house. And I don't remember a whole lot else about the dream, but that's what it was about. But I remember that recreation area that it was connected to, there was some bad boys over there. It's like some teenage black boys. But anyways, recap of yesterday, I had to run out to do an errand. And there's this cars kept following me. I still don't feel safe anymore when I go out. I know times are changing a lot, but every time I go out, it's a combination of people just like trying to run me over, really, you know. And I did vlog when I was out, and I can't upload it, but it's a combination of people trying to run me over like crazy, or people just stalking and following me. So like I really think Valdosta has some type of sex trafficking ring or something going on. But this time, last night, I don't feel that was the case. I feel like these people were just person. It was a silver car. When I first came out, he came and approached me one way and blew his horn, but I was vlogging, so I didn't pay attention to it. But at the time, I was like, yo, I need to really record the license plates. Because these people can see me and they can really identify me, but I can't them because it's just a car. But I need to look at the license plates. And so as my journey continued, it got darker at night. I think I left probably about almost 7, and you know, it's still late until about 9. And I ended up going one place, going somewhere else. They didn't have it. And then on the way back, the car passed me once and tried to talk to me. And I actually saw him, and I got him on video, you know. Then the second, and I was just like, you know, I ignored him, and I was just, you know, kind of dictating what was going on to the camera. And then the second time he came, and I got his license plate, but I had it a little wrong. I said Z400, but the last 4 were actually 2400, because when he came, he actually circled back around and came back again. And he actually initially went through the laundromat to follow me. It was crazy. And then this other car, somehow they peeped what was going on. They was telling me to go in front of them, but I was scared because if I went in front of them and they tried to hit me, so I told them just go on ahead and go if they're going in. And I walked past. Then the guy had pulled into the gas station, and that's when the other car came. And then he wasn't getting gas or anything. He was waiting for me to start walking. And I think if that truck hadn't came, he probably would have came out with a gun or tried to snatch me or something. But, you know, really, for women out here, it's so much going on. I see too many videos about stuff like that. But, you know, I'm with Flavor Flav on 911 as a joke. Protect yourself, you know, any way that you can. I really, at this point, and I had this errand to run for a couple of days, but I didn't want to go out because by the time I got to it, it was dark or going to be dark. And I really didn't want to be out there like that. But I don't recommend, especially in my area, you know, if you're walking and you're a female, you know, like I used to love going out like right at dusk because it wasn't just intentionally done, but that's usually when I get done with all of my day work. And so, you know, that's the time that I go out, but it's really not safe. I mean, really not safe. I mean, I feel the energy before I even head out, but it's not safe. But you really got to take care of yourself. So, always be prepared. Yeah. But anyways, I'm not going to get too much further into that. And then also talking about Korean learning apps. There's 3 free apps, and I'm going to give you kind of a quick review on all of them. There's Duolingo, which is really popular, but as far as Korean learning language, it was garbage to me. The good part of it was that, it starts off on the basic level with the characters and alphabet. But the thing is, I liked it and did well on that because I already knew the characters and alphabet. But if you don't, it's going to be weird because it doesn't teach it to you. It just shows how much you know at the time. So it's giving you the characters, it's saying the characters with the romanization of it. And then you have to kind of tap the one that matches, which, is cool. And I like that you see the Korean characters as well as the romanization, as well as hearing it. Also, what I liked about it, but again, the drawback is that you have to at least know the characters before you start. If you don't, then, it's not going to be a good thing. The next part of it that I enjoyed was the actual language speaking part of it. And this is how I feel you could use, I think, Google Translate to help too. I tried that where you're saying things in Korean to Google Translate to see if it will translate it into English. If you did, then you did a good job. But Duolingo records you saying these phrases or repeating these phrases. And if you say it correctly, of course, you win and it lets you go to the next level. What I did not like about it is that when you got to the higher levels, to me, it's a jip because the words aren't really Korean words. Basically, it's the way a Korean pronunciation of the way a native Korean speaker. Oh, my cramps are real bad. Oh, they've been bad for the past few days. I don't know why. I'm not on, but and I usually don't have cramps during my cycle either, so I don't know what's going on with my body right now. But so. Yeah, the thing that I didn't like about it, when you get to the quote unquote higher levels, it's not really Korean words that they're using. What they're using is like if a Korean person were to pronounce something in English, they're using that. And that was very, wow, what's going on? That was very annoying to me. Wow. So that was very annoying to me. Let me continue on and not pay attention to that because that's going to jump a whole different topic and I don't want to go there right now. But yeah, so for Duolingo, the language would come on the higher, quote unquote, higher levels for Korean. And there's a lot of language apps, but not all of them have Korean. So the ones that I'm talking about are the 3 that were free that I actually worked with. But, yeah, they weren't really using Korean words. To me, it was a mockery because it was like American words, but said with a Korean accent. Like it was such a jip, and it was just like the names of cities, like Philadelphia. They said Philadelphia, and I was just like, it was pissing me off, and I was like, okay, 1 or 2, but it was like every single one. Boston, Diamond for diamond. I was like, are you serious? How can you get away with that? Basically all it was, if you had a Korean parent, that's how your parent would pronounce these English words. And they were using that. So I ended up uninstalling that app. So Duolingo, if you're not a native Korean speaker and you just want to learn that, I don't really recommend it. I don't recommend it. The next app is called Learn Korean, and it has a big Korean flag on it. So you'll see that one. How did I feel about that particular app? It was okay. What I didn't like about it was they didn't use Korean characters at all. Not that I recall. And they also did the same thing where instead of the actual Korean words for things, it was just the American word, but the way that a Korean person would pronounce it. So if you don't have Korean family members or around Korean people by yourself, you wouldn't know that that's what's happening, but that's what's happening. So I didn't like that particular app for the same reason. When you get past a certain level, that's all it does. But it does help you with the characters. If you're not a character person, it'll say the character to you and it'll give the romanization of it, and you would have to tap which character it is for the beginner level. But again, when I got to the levels where they started just repeating English words with a Korean accent, I was kind of offended by that. I was like, how are they even passing this off? The next app, the third app, is called Infinite Korean. And I think probably a Korean person built this one. It's very intuitive, very learning. And basically, it's like a game. It'll show it, and it gives you, it's a vocabulary app, pretty much is all it is. It'll start with the numbers, and it'll say some of the numbers, and some of them you have to read. What I don't like about it is that, again, on the ones that you have to read, you're not reading it in Korean. You're reading the romanization, which I guess is not so bad because at least you're learning the quote unquote pronunciation of it. But different categories, I've done the numbers, the animals, the fruits, and it's a bunch of categories, and you unlock new categories the more that you go on. So I really enjoy that. What I do recommend, for those people that play games on the phones and stuff like that, the pastime, find a language game. Learn something new out of it. Get something out of it that you can learn and use. With everything that's going on, I think it's great to learn different languages. My 3 are Korean, French, and Spanish, not in any particular order. Korean right now is what I'm refocusing on. But yeah, and other places that you can learn for free are Coursera, of course, Udemy. If you like technology, Google Digital Garage. I haven't had time to really mess with that in a long time, but right now my focus is on language, on Korean. So that's what it is. I hope you guys have a great day. If you are female, you have sisters or whatever, be safe out there. I really do not recommend it. And this is just my experience. I know some people, even where I live at in Valdosta, there are people that live in neighborhoods that look like it belongs in Fairfax, Virginia somewhere. But if you know that you live in a place that has crime, I don't recommend as a female that you go out and be out and about after dusk if you're walking, especially even if you're driving, to be really aware of your surroundings. If you have a weapon, I'm not into hurting people, but I'm into defending yourself. Make sure you have a way to defend yourself. That's all I'm saying. Also, always have your phone on and ready to go. Record everything. Even, I don't care if it looks crazy or it may feel like you're paranoid. If you use your instincts. We've been taught not to use them. But if you feel something ain't right, something feels strange, record it. Okay. I love you guys. Have a great day. I wish there were more people that actually watched. I wish there were more people that watched in general, but it'll come. Slow and steady wins the race. And again, I love you guys. Have a great day. Goodbye.